What is Ohm's law?
Ohm's law states that the electric current through a conductor is directly proportional to the voltage across it, with resistance being the constant of proportionality. What are the three mathematical equations derived from Ohm's law? The equations are V equals IR, voltage equals current multiplied by resistance, I equals V by R, current equals voltage divided by resistance, and R equals V by I, resistance equals voltage divided by current. Who is Ohm's law named after? Ohm's law is named after the German physicist Georg Simon Ohm, who described the relationship between voltage, current, and resistance in electrical circuits. What does Ohm's law state about resistance? Ohm's law states that the resistance R in the relationship V equals IR is constant, independent of the current. What is an empirical relation in physics? An empirical relation is one that is based on observation and experiment rather than theory. What are materials that do not obey Ohm's law called? Materials that do not obey Ohm's law are called non-ohmic. What is the vector form of Ohm's law used in electromagnetics and material science? The vector form of Ohm's law is J equals sigma E, where J is the current density, E is the electric field, and sigma is the conductivity. Who reformulated Ohm's law into the vector form? Gustav Kirchhoff reformulated Ohm's law into the vector form. What are resistors? Resistors are circuit elements that impede the passage of electric charge in accordance with Ohm's law. What is an ohmic device? An ohmic device, or an ohmic resistor, is an element, resistor or conductor, that behaves according to Ohm's law over a certain operating range. What types of elements can Ohm's law be applied to in circuits? Ohm's law can be applied to circuits containing only resistive elements, with no capacitances or inductances. Is Ohm's law valid for both constant DC and time-varying AC driving voltage or current? Yes, Ohm's law is valid for both constant and time-varying driving voltage or current. How is equivalent resistance calculated for resistors in series? Equivalent resistance for resistors in series is the sum of their individual resistances. How is equivalent resistance calculated for resistors in parallel? For resistors in parallel, the reciprocal of the equivalent resistance is the sum of the reciprocals of the individual resistances. Why is resistance considered the constant of proportionality in Ohm's law? Resistance remains constant in a circuit with fixed materials and conditions, thus serving as the constant factor relating voltage and current. Can Ohm's law be applied to circuits containing both resistors and capacitors? Ohm's law cannot be directly applied to circuits containing capacitors because capacitors exhibit a time-varying response to changes in voltage and current. How does resistance affect the flow of current in a circuit? Higher resistance restricts the flow of current, while lower resistance allows for greater current flow, as dictated by Ohm's law. In what units is resistance typically measured? Resistance is typically measured in ohms, omega, named after Georg Simon Ohm. How does the conductance of a material relate to its resistance? Conductance is the reciprocal of resistance and represents how easily a material allows current to flow. Can Ohm's law be applied to circuits with nonlinear elements? Ohm's law is not applicable to circuits with nonlinear elements, as these elements do not obey the linear relationship described by Ohm's law. Why is Ohm's law essential for analyzing and designing electrical circuits? Ohm's law provides a fundamental framework for predicting and controlling the behavior of electrical circuits, enabling engineers to design and troubleshoot complex systems with confidence.